What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Welcome to every motocross rider's dream retirement home, I guess. Let me make sure I get the name of this right, because it's a very, very long one. This is the Manchester Country Club Reflex Retirement Homes. Now, this is, first of all, the track itself within the general community here is a replica of Manchester Round 1 from MX vs ATV Reflex. Consuming Clouds is one of the Reflex old boys and has essentially made this place for all of them Reflex old boys to retire once they eventually do so. Now, there is more to this than meets the eye. So not only do we have this this very pretty looking track here surrounded by a bunch of houses and greenery, if we go to a night mode, it also, well, if you go to cloudy or rainy in game, there is a night mode for this as well, so you get to keep your neighbours awake at night. But that's not all. So there's many jumps dotted in and around the houses too, around the outside. There is a incredible amount of trails around the outside also. So many to which I don't think we're actually going to get time to cover all of them today, but we'll do a little bit of trail riding at the end of this video. And apparently there's also some Easter eggs dotted around, which I have no idea what actually. I mean, there's one. I think that's one Easter egg right here. We've got a little camper out the back. This will be my home. You can keep all of the poshos over there, and I'll stay over here in my little camper. But yeah, apparently there's a few Easter eggs dotted around here, there, and everywhere, which will be interesting to find the whole time. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe.
Rightio, let's see how things go. And very, very good news. We have a Supercross track with a hell of a lot of gates. This makes me a very, very happy man. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I mean, I think we've got like 30, like, I think maybe about 40 gates there. Maybe more. That's actually ridiculous. So we can get some full lobbies going on these tracks, which will be some very good fun. I do like some very hectic Supercross tracks. So let's see if my memory serves me right. Now, I believe this layout is based on Manchester Round 1. The only reason I say based on and not an exact replica is because I'm pretty sure that corner back there is not a perfect 90 degree to the right in the base game, if my memory serves me right. And then also this is more of like a not as sharp of a left to turn. So I think it's the actual jumps within the track are the same, but the base floor layout is slightly different, because then you'd have this huge jump that you could actually quad this, I believe, back in the Reflex days, if my memory serves me right. Manchester 1 was a very, very short track. I think it might actually be the shortest of all the Supercross tracks in the game, then followed by Stone Point Round 1 after that. But I liked Manchester's. I liked Round 1. I liked Round 2 as well. Round 2 was a very, very good one. Some big boy lines on Round 2 as well. Kind of like stretching all the way onto the last table before the finish. You could basically jump the rhythm section before the sand in 2 jumps. And yeah, it's very, very fun. Brings back some good days, some good memories. And I mean, if we're going to go on the topic of Reflex as well, I don't know if he wants me to say anything at this point. Probably not. I don't even know if he watches my videos, to be completely honest with you. But we might have some very, very exciting news in the near future in terms of track creation. So the man himself, Mr. Checkers, who a lot of you might know from MX Simulator, a bunch of you might know him as the guy who worked on a lot of tracks and to do with Reflex and MX vs ATV Alive at the time as well. He is basically the main driving force behind having the James Stewart compound in Alive. Like, he went out, met with Bubba, kind of got the deal sorted out, sat down like at the compound, got a bunch of sketches, you know, went through Bubba with all of his like narration lines for the game as well. So everyone has a massive round of applause, or has to give big thanks to Checkers for doing this. He's made his way over into our little community here, and he's checking things out. So who knows what that man's going to whip up. He's made a disgusting amount of tracks on Sim. I want to say it's probably around the 200 plus mark, which is nuts. So it's very, very nice for him to be gracing our little game here with his presence. So I just thought, whilst we was on the topic of Reflex tracks and such, may as well give a little bit of a shout out to an OG of the game there, an absolute legend, someone who I have raced many tracks of in my Sim days. He was one of like the founders of Race Factory Gaming, which is still about to this day, still using the logo that he designed many years ago. And it's just very exciting stuff to get some new, I guess, Hall of Famers, if that makes sense, into the community to make some tracks for us. So keep your eyes peeled in the near future. I hope it should be some very exciting times. So this track, as you can see, lap time about 50 seconds. Now, I have definitely been over jumping some of these rhythms here, trying to send it as far as possible. Great whoop section, by the way. You feel like you're going very, very fast through there. And I feel like at the moment you're a little bit limited in terms of what lines you can send. Because if I was to send that table a little bit further, I get like a massive kick, a massive rebound off the jumps. I can get over that triple though. Then we'll go on off here. You see I'm riding the Fantic today. And I think, so at Detroit, I tried the Fantic in qualifying. And then as soon as qualifying was done, I went and hopped on the KTM and ran a lap time quicker than my Fantic qualifying lap. So I kind of put the Fantic to bed at that point. Now, last night I hopped on. I was playing Detroit with a bunch of the DDC boys, a few of which are avid Fantic enjoyers. And I was like, listen, I'll send you my setup so you can see what it's all about. You send me yours, and I'll see what it feels like. Basically, to the Fantic enjoyers, my setup that I was running is just pretty cheeks. And then I got sent theirs, and it feels a whole lot better, a whole lot nicer. Tracks through the whoops even better than mine did. Just feels a lot more smoother, a lot more reliable. Now, it is not as fast as the Husky or the KTM is. That is just a fact. That is set in stone. You're never going to be getting like top quality lap times on the Fantic unless you're absolutely cracked out your mind. Some people probably will. But this is more of a consistency bike for me than anything else. So I'm going to give it another go next round, whatever next round is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think is it Glendale we're doing next, I believe. So I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. Because for the last 2 rounds of aerial, I have been very inconsistent as I crash there. That's perfect timing. And consistency is kind of all I've got in the bag these days. I do not have the raw speed anyway, even when I'm on the fastest bike. Maybe it's a bit too much for me to handle. I feel like what happens is when I'm... Also, if you bike life boys want anywhere to wheelie, this could be a good area. I feel like what happens is because I've got all this power underneath me, if I'm on the Husky or the KTM, I'm tempted to go for the big lines all the time rather than using my brain and being sensible and actually just checking up and taking the lines that might be a couple attempts slower but are far more consistent. So that's kind of what the Fantic is for me. So if we take the Detroit track, God, I'm getting tongue twisted, for example, you go along the start straight, you turn left, you hit that first big rhythm, and then you turn left again. Now, the cracked line is to go quad. The quad in is easy. The quad out is the difficult part. And to be honest, the only bikes I've been able to get that quad out consistently on is the Husky and the KTM. On the Fantic, however, I've only hit it a handful of times, even when I feel like I get the perfect run. So it's definitely slower. The suspension that I'm running is quite a soft one. It's not got quite as much pop as I would do on other bikes. But what that means is instead of then being tempted... That is a huge... I did not expect that to be that big. Holy moly. Everybody, when they saw McAdoo's Schmeat hanging out at Detroit, did not expect that to be that big. Another big one here that I want to hit, actually. Spin around. So what this setup does is it kind of takes those huge quad lines away as an option. So then you have to ride smart. And that's kind of going to be the approach I want to go for the next round or two and just see how it goes. I'm not going to let, qualifying times get the better of me at all. I'm not going to give in and then go and change bike last minute because I don't think that's good for anybody. It's not good for consistency at all. And we shall see. And to be fair, I've only raced against other Fantics so far in lobbies, but I'm getting okay jumps out of the gate and my starts have been god-awful. I generally couldn't tell you what it is. Each start seems to be way different, even though I feel like I'm doing the same thing. I mean, there's an Easter egg. He did say there would be Easter eggs, and that is most certainly an egg. I mean, shout out to the deer, the antelopes, the reindeer, whichever one you want to refer to them as, for praying to their egg god, I guess. So there's a camper van, there's a bunch of deer praying to an egg, there's a UFO. We got some sort of like cult developing in this neighbourhood. What's catchy here? What's going on? It would be nice. Oh, we do. I was about to say it'd be nice if we can go over some of these logs rather than dodging them, but it does look like that is the case. Can we jump up onto this? Oh! Okay, definitely a new engine casing after that. Rest in peace, me. Right, let's... oh, God. Careful. So these trails, there's no definitive trail. You know, it kind of branches off in many different directions at many different parts of it. So it's quite hard to follow just one bit, but I will do my best. Is there anything going on with these deer over here? Are they also preying, or are they just chilling? I think they're just chilling. They're just having a good time. They're just vibing. I was going to say they're circling around the water hole, but they are not. There's no water in that one right there. We shall carry on about our life, carry on about our day. And I think we should hopefully lead out to some jumps over here that go back and forth over the house. Let's pop off over here because I saw one this way. There's one right there. Okay, let's spin around. If I get this right and we downside them the right amount, you should be able to hit them back and forth. So hit one there, cut to the right, hit this one here, get over it, yes. Cut to the left, I'm running out of speed. Send it. Oh, I'm not going fast enough. Go on, land it, land it, land it, land it, land it, land it, land it. No! Ah! Unlucky. I've got a feeling, have they put something... You know what would be a perfect place to hide an Easter egg? Is inside one of these houses and just have, you know, like a sex doll or something, like like Hell Machine has on his tracks. No, nothing. There's a hell of a lot of houses here to check, boys. I don't know if I can go through each and every one of them, just for the sake of there potentially being something when there might not even be anything at all. But no, that's absolutely fine. So I would argue this is, as an like all-encompassing area slash, you know, compound, neighborhood, retirement facility place, I would say this is probably Consuming Cloud's best work to date. I've played a lot of his tracks, and I think just in terms of like track flow and the environment on this track is really, really nice. I do like it a lot. I am a fan that he has taken collisions off for like these hedges and stuff, so you can get a little bit wild if you need to while still surviving. The whoop section, really enjoy these whoops. They look super deep, and I'm not sure if it's just because of this Fantic setup that I'm rocking now, but the bike just tracks through it like an absolute dream. And if we take Detroit, for example, the whoop section on Detroit, I've hit a few times on this setup now, and I've hit the whoop so fast that I've struggled to stop for the sand at the end and just miss the inside. I've had other times where, so you get through the whoops and you've got the first sand roller. I've come out the whoop so quickly, I've basically jumped into that roller and just instantly tucked the front end. It's not been a pretty sight whatsoever. But it's good. It's certainly capable. It's definitely more of a consistent setup because the bike hasn't got as much power as the Husky does, so it's not quite as, I guess, unstable coming out the turns, and it's got a little bit of a longer swing arm than my KTM setup did. And the KTM for me is the fastest bike in terms of overall speed, but it's a little bit twitchy for me because the setup I was given runs a 2 swing arm, but if I then go and increase it to make it more stable, it kind of loses its agility in the turn. So it's always a game of like give and take with setups. You know, you take one thing away, you gain elsewhere. You then change something to gain some time somewhere else, and you lose it from another place. So it's always just trying to balance out the pros and cons and find something that you're really comfortable on, which is something that I've just never been good at doing. So I'm very, very lucky to have people that I would consider friends, that people that I'm fairly close to that know how to make setups in this game. So it's always makes my life a hell of a lot easier. And yeah, we will see what happens at Glendale, I guess. Wish me luck. Can we get 3 god-awful races where we barely scrape a top 10 in a row? Probably. Who knows? It all depends how the start goes, doesn't it? But yeah, that'll do it for me. Honestly, really solid work here from Consuming Clouds. There's probably so many more jumps around this track that I've missed out on that I just haven't seen. And there's probably 1 or 2 more hidden Easter eggs all over the place. But I will leave that for all of you to go and discover as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, if I could ask for just a cheeky little like, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you are new for some more daily content. And enjoy the rest of the day, wherever you're up to. Catch you guys next time. Peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain, even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want.